Welcome back. You're watching Markets at Noon on ET. Now, let's welcome on board S Chakravarti, the MD and CEO of Shriram City Union Finance. Lots to talk about, not just about, what's the credit growth looking like, how SME collections as well have been shaping up. But yesterday we had the Supreme Court, instruction as well that came in with respect to asset quality and not declaring accounts that do go delinquent post the moratorium period as NPA. So let's bring on board Mr. Chakravarti then. Thank you so much for joining us today. So to start with, I guess I want to understand your view of, yes, I mean, it's still, of course, an ongoing case, and the next hearing is on the 10th of September. But yeah, the instruction or the order was that banks need not declare accounts that are unable to pay up for at least 2 months post the moratorium period as NPA. So what's your view? Do you think it will give you some relief on the asset quality front and NPA front?
I'm not very clear what are the intention of the Honorable Supreme Court is, but then 2 months is, NPA, obviously September, October, post-moratorium, again 90 days is the NPA norm. So we'll have to wait and watch how the market or the customers react to it. But as of, if you look at Shriram City, we have ended with slightly more than 65% of collections in the month of August from our SME customers. So the rest of the customers, we get a sense that the customers would be willing to pay the EMI in September. Most of the customers are not asking for continuation of moratorium; they are willing to pay, there are about 22% of my customers have not paid a single installment so far. In the sense, in the moratorium months, they have availed moratorium and not paid a single installment. So out of this, we expect at least 15 out of the 22, about 60-70% of the customers to come and pay. So I mean, in our customer segment, I'm not anticipating a high stress. As far as the ruling is concerned, anyway, for an NPA classification, it has to be 90 days post moratorium. So whether Supreme Court orders it or not, you can't declare it as an NPA unless it's a 90-day past due. So I don't know what they mean by not declare anybody as an NPA immediately after the moratorium. So we'll see. Since they said they'll come back and hear the case on September 10th, we'll see how it goes.
Okay, so a bit of an overlap over there, but yeah, nevertheless, it was good to get in your take as well on your current asset quality, among other things. Mr. Chakravarti, how are you analyzing the credit growth on ground? There are reports suggesting that MSMEs are still starved of credit. There is definitely, at least it looks like there is demand for credit. Is it translating into disbursements for you?
We have yes, there is definitely a demand there on the ground. We have started disbursing, but not as much as we were doing pre-COVID levels. But we have done about close to probably we'll end up with about 150-200 plus crores of disbursement in this quarter, which was in the first quarter was only a 20 crore disbursement. So there is a demand. Specifically, there is a demand for working capital from the ground level. And the only thing is probably we will have to be a bit cautious in disbursing because we need to look at the cash flows of the business and the current cash flows of the business. So, I think the third quarter onwards should be the disbursement should pick up from the third quarter onwards.
Okay. But what about the rural side, because you have quite a lot of focus in the rural area. So how is it looking over there?
See, we on the rural side, we have two products, particularly our two major products, that is two-wheeler and SME, that we focus on the rural and semi-urban markets. There is a slight pickup in the second half of August compared to July. There's a pickup, and it looks the demand is coming back in the rural areas. Even sales, if you look at two-wheeler sales also, the rural sales have picked up for two-wheeler.
Yeah, that's definitely being witnessed. Tractors as well, in fact. So I just wanted to go back to that cash flow bit that you were mentioning earlier. What's the funding scenario, the borrowing cost environment like? I mean, there was this whole special liquidity window as well. Did that ease out funding pressures?
No, liquidity side, I think we are comfortable and we are seeing renewed interest from banks. So that side, there are no worries on the liquidity side as of now. The borrowing cost has come off slightly by about 20-30 basis points. Our average cost of borrowing is about 9.6, but for the first quarter, it has come off by about 20-30 basis points.
Wanted your view on, the finance minister as well, asking banks and NBFCs to roll out, loan resolution framework by the 15th of September. So I just want to understand what's your strategy over there? How are you sort of helping borrowers navigate, away from the moratorium?
I was also part of the call yesterday with the finance minister, where banks and NBFCs were present. And I think it's what Madam was pushing or actually requesting the financial institutions is to talk to the borrowers, understand their needs, and make sure that credit is available for them to get back on their feet. So we have already identified segments where they may need extra working capital or a reschedulement of the loans, and we are working on it. We are working on a policy. The policy should be ready in the next couple of days, and then we will go to the board with the policy. See, typically what we are looking at is, we found out that sectors where we have fund, in the sense the hospitality sector, your segments where restaurants, schools, small hospitals, these are the guys, small nursing homes. These are the segments that in our portfolio that needed a kind of hand-holding. And we are talking to all these clients, looking at what kind of support that we can extend and they need. So it will be sector specific. Most of my customers are traders, so most of them are not. They do not need a restructuring or a reschedulement. They would need probably some working capital needs, which we are assessing and we are meeting it.
Okay, just one follow-up question. Which specific sectors, would require restructuring according to you, and also, on the fundraising bit?
That's what I've told you. It's basically hotels, hospitality sector, restaurants, schools, and nursing homes. These are the sectors that we have funded, which we feel are in need of capital, working capital, to tide over the slowdown in business.
Right. Okay. Yes, you did mention that. Okay, great. Mr. Chakravarti, thank you so much for joining us today on Markets at Noon and, giving us a sense of what things are looking like. And, of course, the Supreme Court verdict, 10 September hearing will continue. For now, we will take a very short break on the show.